There's a lot of things that go on in the Native American world that the outsider would be surprised at. There's a lot of people surprised today that we don't live in teepees.
People that lived not far away didn't even know we existed. They read the same history books we did, and we were always mentioned in the past tense. So they didn't know we were still here.
The Canandaigua Treaty is a very formidable treaty. It was the only treaty signed by George Washington.
It's not Indian history, it's American history. It's what happened here.
This is one of, I think, 3 copies, known copies of the treaty. You can see here for each signature, I had it marked with an X, and they would put a red seal there, a wax seal, to show that that was the people's sign. You could see on here, too, how some of them have been cut off through time. This is probably one of the most significant treaties that the United States made in its first 100 years. It recognizes the boundary lines and says that the land will be ours forever. It says that the United States will look after our general welfare and that we will maintain peaceful and friendly relationships. Now you got to remember that it was important to the United States because without it, there could have been open warfare all on the western frontier. It's important to us because it recognizes the United States trying to resolve the differences between our people, and it is the treaty that we uphold today as a recognition of our sovereignty.
We've been here a long time. This is where we're buried. This is where all our people are buried. And that's why across the Indian Nation, you'll see them fight for their land. They don't want to leave because it's their history and their people, and the ground literally is our dust. The tree is the symbol that the peacemaker planted 1,000 years ago at the shores of Onondaga Lake. Peacemaker gathered all the leaders from the 5 original nations, which are Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca. He said, when you sit and you counsel for the welfare of the people, think not of yourself, nor of your family, nor even your generation. Make your decisions on behalf of the 7th generation coming.
When we go out to get medicine, it was put here for the benefit of all. We never pick the first one that we see.
Okay, this is foot.
Because it might be the last plant. And if we pick that one, it won't reproduce, and our grandchildren will not be able to enjoy or have available that medicine.
And it's excellent for cough medicine.
And we should be honored and thankful that we have air to breathe and somewhere to live and clothing and a sun that comes up every morning. So you take care of it, because if you don't, it may not be here tomorrow.
I really admire our traditional ways because I see other nations that are falling away from that. It's a gift, and to lose it, you know, I don't want to see that happening.
We're surrounded by what happens upstream, what happens downstream from us directly affects our people.
Onondaga Lake is arguably the most chemically contaminated lake in the country. This whole area that you see here was essentially one giant industrial complex where they made the soda ash, where they made the chlorinated benzenes, and this is a very, very heavily contaminated area. And it's all moving, generally speaking, towards the lake. That material basically makes the fish inedible. People can't swim without exposing themselves to these chemicals. It's just an incredible witch's brew, and that's how come it has to be cleaned up. The Onondaga Nation believes that this lake is their lake. They believe that this is part of their Aboriginal territory. And they love this lake. They want this lake cleaned up. And that's how come they're now taking legal action. So this is going to be a test of whether or not local, state, and federal authorities who are charged with protecting the environment and the public health are going to force the polluters to fulfill their legal obligation or let them off the hook and basically leave this lake permanently polluted. They've known about these problems for decades, and without incredible citizen pressure from local residents and from activists around the country, we wouldn't even be at this point where we've identified the problems. Now the challenge is going to be whether or not the pollution is actually going to get cleaned up.
We are land keepers. We were given the duty to watch over Mother Earth. It's not our property. We're allowed to exist on it, but there are rules.
We are in an outright war with Mother Nature. Did you ever get your mother mad? You know, when you get your mother mad, things are bad for a long time. You're not going to negotiate with that. You're just going to learn it and learn how to get by, learn it and get with it, or else suffer the consequence.
And the agreements that we had way back then that are still alive today is the two-row wampum belt. And in that two-row wampum belt, it says that we'll live side by side and travel together along the river of life.
Our leaders before us mandated that we should be able to live side by side. But if we continue to destroy the environment that's around us, nobody's going to survive. If we can use this land claim to make people listen to and look at what's being done in the name of progress.
We're not used to doing this type of thing, trying to sell ourselves. We want to be accepted for who we are, just as we are. We're not a tourist attraction. Others have tried to make us one at different times. We won't do that. We're not like that. We won't have a casino. Some of our own people say, "You're crazy. You know, that's where the money is." But what do you lose?
We need to make our head first, okay? Or you wouldn't have a guy.
People outside of the territory here shouldn't fear this that's going to happen. It's got to happen. It has to happen. But it shouldn't be a fearful thing for anyone. It's just the right thing to do.
We're not trying to evict anybody. We want help in the environment and preserving it for generations to come, because that's also our duty. When we leave this earth, we leave it with what we had for the next generation to come.
I don't think we have a word for a press conference in our language, so I just welcome everybody to, of course, everybody read the paper today. Quite a historic event. Today we've gone down to the federal court and filed our papers to seek justice in that system, which our people have talked about a long time. Past chiefs, grandmothers, people themselves. It's a big step, but it's just the beginning.
When you say clean, what do you want Onondaga Lake to be? What's your vision?
Be able to drink the water. At least get that lake back to where maybe 90–95% clean, and let the lake itself, she will heal herself.
It's a long time coming for you. How did you feel today to do that? You were one of the people who were...
I feel great. I think it's about time and a long time coming, and it's going to be a long time in action as well. The state of New York has been very insistent that we file. So one of the reasons why we went down there this morning was to accede to their wishes so that we can get on with it. And now we'll see where that goes.
What you want is a judgment that this is Onondaga land. That's the first thing and the only thing this seeks?
The complaint is two parts. One, that New York violated the law when it took the land, and that therefore those transactions are void, and that the title to the land belongs with the Onondagas. The amount of land is what we see here. It's the Aboriginal territory. It's a couple of million acres anyway. It's a lot of land. What the nation is seeking, though, is to work with its neighbors for a healing. That's what the case is about. It's to work together, to live together, to use the good mind. That's the message that the Peacemaker brought. That's the message the Onondaga is bringing to its neighborhood.
From the time that I was a child, I heard about this settlement. I remember that there were tears when they came to points where they didn't know, now what shall we do? We come to this place today from a spiritual path. That has been our main guide. And we come in peace and goodwill. We are reaching out to our neighbors so that they may have a better understanding of where we are coming from and answer some of the whys that are going to be flying at us, I'm sure. We are hoping, seeking, and trusting that justice will be done. And we give many thanks to our Creator that the time we feel is right.
The Onondaga people wish to bring about a healing between themselves and all others who live in this region that has been the homeland of the Onondaga Nation since the dawn of time. The people are one with the land and consider themselves stewards of it. It is the duty of the nation's leaders to work for a healing of this land, to protect it, and to pass it on to future generations. The Onondaga Nation brings this action on behalf of its people in the hoping that it may hasten the process of reconciliation and bring lasting justice, peace, and respect among all who inhabit this area.
Hey,